At the Fender factory in Corona, California, behind an unmarked door, there's a small secret shop. This is not the custom shop. This is Fender Research and Development. This is the place where they make the equivalent of the concept car. In this little lab, a team of builders builds bespoke, unique guitars that literally stretch the imagination. Master builder Alex Perez built me this guitar. We're going to zoom in, we're going to talk about it, but before we do that, let's just take 30 seconds and listen to what it sounds like. So yeah, I made it to Fender. It's quite a big facility, as you might imagine. And there is a bit of security to go through it. Security, hey, how are you?
Hello.
These guitars are so perfect looking that it's hard to remember that they are original vintage instruments from the 50s and 60s. Fender's history is easy to find on the walls of this sprawling factory. What's not easy to find is behind this unmarked door. It's Fender Research and Development, the model shop.
Come on through.
Now, is this it?
That's you right there. So you can see some of the chambering that's going on in there. It's just wired up right now with the volume, so you could hear the volume in the three-way.
Do I get to keep the glasses? Very easy to play.
Oh, that's good. Compound radius helps a lot. Do something real quick, a little manipulation here. So, would you prefer this to be legible in the playing position, or like if it was left-handed and we flipped it over?
No, I think the first way.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I agree, because this is what would have been on the left-handed at that era, just the, backwards, upside down. But yeah, I think it looks much better when you're playing it.
Yeah, we meant it, and this lets us and everybody know that that's what we meant.
Yeah, you can see the chambering that's going on in there, a little bit of that.
Yeah, a little bit of that. Thank you.
The tone is fantastic overall. Just if I tap it here, I feel it all the way down. It's pretty cool. Not all of them end up that way,
Hey, all right, I got lucky. I requested that this guitar be no heavier than 7.5 pounds. With a little bit of light chambering on this alder body, Alex brought it in at 7.4 pounds. It's very comfortable to wear over the shoulder. This is the Fender Panorama Tremolo, the Scott Buell custom bridge that is shaped for the compound radius neck. Here we have the on-off switch for the parametric EQ, the pickup selector, the silent P180 pickups. Here is the circuit for the parametric. We have frequency, width, and gain. Now moving to the neck, we have a rosewood fingerboard with a 10 to 14 compound radius sitting on roasted maple. This scale length is 24.75. Most Fenders are 25.5. This is a Gibson scale length. I asked for this, and Alex immediately said, oh yeah, let's do it. The fretboard also has 7mm large 60s style dots, glow-in-the-dark lumen lay inlays on the side, and medium jumbo frets. Turning the guitar over, you can see the modern heel, which makes it easy to access the higher frets. You can see some nice figuring on the roasted maple neck. These are vintage-looking tuners, but they're very modern on the inside, so they give a really smooth turn. And finally, one of my favorite things, this very cool Fender Research and Development logo. So now let me introduce you to the team at Fender Research and Development that designed this guitar. Then we'll do a deep dive and listen to how versatile this guitar actually sounds. And after that, in about 2 minutes, I want to show you Fender Guitar Heaven. This is in the factory, in the ceiling. You look up, and there are hundreds of guitars just painted, drying, and moving on a conveyor belt. It's pretty astounding. After that, Alex will give us a tour of the factory floor. So one way I like to use this EQ is to smooth out the transient and on a high lead tone, make it creamier. I'll demonstrate. So I have it on and listen to what it does. Okay, I'll turn it off and you can just hear this pickup by itself. Little more skinny. I kind of prefer the boost on for this part. Let me turn it back on. Let me leave it on. Okay, for the next chord, I'll turn it off so it cleans up a little bit. So boost off right now. Right? And then skinny for this too. Boost off. And then I'll turn it back on so this gets really creamy and smooth. Now, of course, Hendrix did this song on his Strat, and I think with the neck pickup. But the bridge P180 on this guitar is doing a good job, both with the boost on and the boost off. I have another friend at Fender named Stan Cody. He's a wizard at designing their amps, their pedals, and guitars. Stan designed this parametric EQ and boost, and he built it himself. It's very musical. This is frequency, width, and gain. So the frequency knob has a very wide throw, essentially the same thing you would hear if you turned the knob on a vintage Neve console. And then the width, all it does is it takes the boosted frequency and allows you to either make it narrow or wide. And of course, here's the gain that gains everything up or down. And it does get a little dirtier when you turn this up. Now, the rhythm guitar tonal EQ options are pretty extensive with this system. Another thing that Stan recommended to me, and I'm grateful for it, is the reverse headstock. Now, when you bend strings on a reverse headstock, it's frankly easier because the distance between the nut and these tuners is shorter. And I feel that, especially with this short scale. But the other thing, I read something recently that Hendrix got a very piano-like tone from his low strings because of the length between the nut and these tuners. And I'm experiencing that also. So I'm a believer now in the reverse headstock. Far above the work happening below on the factory floor is Guitar Heaven. Here's where all of the bodies dry before heading to final assembly. There is, of course, a safety net under the entire operation. I guess in the former factory, before they perfected this system, occasionally a body would drop and get caught by the net. I got lucky and I got to film the system in motion.
This is the metal shop. That bends amp chassis. Yeah, we're doing that here. We used to have a laser, but now we're back on. We're using the VF4s to make pick guards as well for production. Down this row, you'll see bridge blocks. bridge plates, saddles. She's polishing up some fresh saddles right there. Vintage bridge blocks.
We make a lot of our own metal parts. We make a lot of our own bridges and bridge saddles. Yeah, people think we buy a lot of parts from all over, but we make them right here.
So some plates fresh off the machine. The amp chassis I was talking about. It looks like a twin, huh? It's a big one.
Princeton reverb.
It's all custom shop stuff getting ready to go out. Hey. Hey. How you doing? Good, good. Happy Monday. Hey, what's happening?
How are ya?
Jackson, Charvel. Good stuff going on over here as well. Hey, what's happening?
Good morning.
Hey guys.
How are ya?
What's happening? So this is another, like you were saying before, a small little guitar company within a big company. They have kind of a similar setup as what we have. So not just Jackson, Charvel, and EVH as well. There's Ed. It's an interesting blue. Got a couple of bodies getting cut right now. The table will come back, and then he'll put it back, and he'll go these two. And now he's only running the backs. He's got to flip them over and run the tops. There you go. Separate the spreads by what, if they're going to be a nice burst or if they're going to be like a solid color. Then they can do a different amount of pieces. Every neck we make has a sample. That's what's hanging on the wall. So in case they want to double check their measurements to make sure they're okay.
Hey guys, a lot of the time YouTube will bring you my videos even though you're not subscribed. If you get the chance, click this subscribe button and ring the bell.